Back to try again. This will be Republican candidate Carla Spalding's fourth try for Congress. She's trying to unseat South Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz for the third time. She may be more well-known now as one of the protesters outside Florida senators' homes requesting they stop the certification of presidential electors. Carla Spalding is a Navy veteran, a former VA nurse, now candidate for South Florida Congressional District 25. Carla, it's great to meet you kind of electronically.
Oh, likewise. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So this is your fourth time running for Congress. What has changed? Why is this race different? Why are you a different candidate?
Well, definitely. I have learned a lot, and also the people in the district are waking up. They're now realizing that the Democratic Party is not the way to go.
Okay, well, that's a very short way of talking about a lot of things that we can get into, but as long as you want to start there, let's do it. The D25 was renumbered, redrawn, still very heavily Democratic. Joe Biden won that district by about 20 points. So what do you say to someone who is not a registered Republican in D25 that you might be a better candidate?
Well, I am the best candidate for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm a registered nurse. I've given my life to serving. I was in the military, the Navy, so I do understand the country, the safetyness of this country. I'm also a teacher, and I love teaching, and I love my district, and I'm working hard for that particular district.
How so?
Another thing that I think is very important to realize, my opponent, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has voted to defund the police, increase crime. We have 1 in every 4 girls that are being sexually molested.
I'm sorry, I just have to stop you there. The Congresswoman voted to increase crime. That of course is factually incorrect, and we'd have to just reflect that record.
She defunded the police, which would lead to higher crimes, and that's a fact.
What are you speaking about? Which bill are you speaking about?
I'm talking about. I know that now they're changing their story, but it's a known fact.
You tell us, what bill are you talking about?
Well, I am telling you that Debbie has voted to defund the police. In defunding the police, as a result of that has caused around the country, she's one of them who voted, and that has caused the crime to skyrocket.
I hear you. I just would like to. I just want to get that fact, because I need to know what bill you're talking about, frankly, because I don't have that information. So share with us, which bill are you talking about?
I won't take all the time on talking about Debbie and a defund police, because we all know that's the truth. So we can move on to something else that is more important. Right now, we're also still struggling with high food costs. Gas is still unaffordable, and rent is still unaffordable. And new bills that they're putting up, I do not see her doing anything that is worthwhile in our communities right now.
Okay, so as Congresswoman, we are the nation and the world struggling under high costs. As a Congresswoman, what are your ideas to bring down those costs?
Well, number one, we need to stop spending outrageous amount of money. We cannot continue to send, we just sent over $100 billion to Ukraine when we have people here who cannot, homeless veterans, we have young people who cannot afford to even pay for their own rent. They now have to move in with their parents. So yes, there are tons of different issues that needs to be addressed that is not being addressed.
Okay, well, that is why we invite you here to talk about those issues. So you as a Congresswoman, should you win, would be one of a body of 435 people, very divided right now. And so I'd like to be able to give you a platform to talk about what your ideas are specifically to change what you see now.
Okay. Now, the first thing that I think is important, I would love to secure our freedom, because without our freedom, we have absolutely nothing. We would not be able to even have this conversation that we're having now.
So by securing freedom, what does that mean practically speaking, securing our freedom?
Yes, securing our freedom meaning, I noticed that the Democrats, when they talk about freedom, it's only freedom when it comes to abortion, only freedom when it comes to ill things. When it's freedom for you to have the right to refuse a vaccine if you choose not to have the vaccine, it's a big problem. So I think overall, military-wise, we fought to secure a freedom of this country, the ability to speak and disagree without having to want to fight about it. We also need to address mental health, because I think practically half of the problem, 1 in every 5 person in the United States has a mental illness. We have to address that. It's affecting our children, and we have just kind of put Band-Aids on that. We cannot.
Well, what is, you have a medical background, you are a nurse, mental health is absolutely front and center right now, and there have been bills and programs to address that. What in your mind is not enough? What needs to be done?
Well, for example, I was at a hearing 2-3 weeks ago, and in this hearing, this was supposed to use Medicaid funding to do gender surgery for children 14 years old. The fact that I'm even having, or people are even having that conversation, is absolutely outrageous. The bill was not passed, so I didn't get a chance to go through it, but my opponent wanted to pass this using Medicaid funding. Our children need to be children.
And is that what you're talking about when you say mental health funding?
I'm sorry?
And is that what you were referring to when you were talking about mental health?
No, mental health has a whole anxiety, depression, all those fall under mental health. There are tons of things that falls under mental health, but that specifics is one of the hearing that I went to. So I'm pointing out something because parents need to understand and see and know what's going on in the school system. They need to know what's happening on the outside and what laws or bills that we're supporting and what, it's so important. This country is going to hell right now. And we need people that are going to stand firm to make those changes. And that's what I'm about.
So when a congressional candidate says this country is going to hell right now, how should the other side hear that?
How should the other side? We all know it's going to hell. I mean, it's not a secret. It's people can't afford gas, they can't afford food. Right now, I have someone.
I just wanted to hear what you meant by that. I just want to, Carla Spalding, introducing you to the world of television where we have this much time and a little taste of your candidacy. I do appreciate your time, and we will absolutely follow your candidacy to November.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.